very quickly I became like a little bit of a disruptor where other PTs in the gym were like, "You're loud, you're taking up space, can you go somewhere else?" And then all of a sudden they're like, "Shut down, do not operate." It was hell, absolute hell. And so then like my start in business was so unusual to most people's start in business because of the fact that I had to do underground marketing. The whole thing had to be word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we doubled. Like we just grew and grew. And even if you never plan on selling your business, that was to my detriment because I just created a really expensive job for myself. I'm assuming anyone listening to this that is an entrepreneur or a business owner has always felt different. You know, I've always felt different ever since I was a little girl. I didn't enjoy the things that all other girls enjoyed. Didn't enjoy conversation that all my friends at uni were having because all I wanted to do was build an empire.
Welcome to The Business Game, a podcast that moves the needle. Before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. Let's dive in.
You launched RBB and quickly built it into a multi-million-dollar business. Let's go back to the very beginning. How did you identify the specific market gap or customer need that RBB was designed to fill within the often challenging landscape?
So if we go back to when I first thought of the concept, this was probably 2012, 2013, 2014, around those years. So over 10 years ago, I was working as a personal trainer and I was employed as a group fitness instructor to commercial gyms. Mm-hmm. So I taught Les Mills was the program. It's like the nationwide go-to if you are a member of a gym anywhere that offers group fitness. 9 times out of 10, the workouts on that timetable are Les Mills, which is a New Zealand-based company that licenses like many, many different programs. And so I was employed to be teaching those, and it was like the biggest thing that brought me joy. I was just so in love with teaching group fitness and seeing the impact that having a group of people together, all sweating, I was able to have a platform where I could motivate and inspire. But then on top of that, something really special happens when it's a body of people moving together. And so I was loving that, but I was also working as a personal trainer, and those two things fell both in the same prime time slots, right? So I would be PTing and then I'd quickly get changed and jump in and teach a group fitness class and then jump back out and PT again. However, PT, I could earn 2 to 3 times as much doing a PT session as what I could being paid to teach a single group fitness class. Yeah. And I really got to the point probably about 10 months in to doing both of these things where I hit this sort of roadblock where I was like, I can't literally make any more. Like, you know, my time in exchange for money.
There's only one of you.
There was only one of me and there was only so much I could do, which meant in order for me to be able to make more money, I needed to cut group fitness, teaching group fitness, right? Because that would then give me 2 to 3 clients in that time. Yeah. But I was like, no, that's my joy. Like, that's the thing that I love. And so I just randomly one night, I can remember it so clearly, I made a post on Facebook where I was like, hey, I'm going to create these small group training classes that fell underneath my personal training business, which meant I could teach 4 people at a time on the gym floor. And at this point, this is about 2013, where HIIT was not really like a well-known thing. Yeah. F45 was founded in 2012, if that gives you any understanding. Yeah. So at this point, I think there was one F45 in Brisbane, right? So everyone was still just going to commercial gyms doing that or maybe doing yoga. Yeah. And I myself personally, through the research I'd been doing, had experienced the benefits of interval training and of combining weights and cardio in one workout, working in short, intense blocks and then recovering. But this wasn't really a big thing in the group fitness space. And so I created this little video about like HIIT and the benefits of HIIT and posted it on Facebook. And I was like, hey, I'm I'm going to run these 30-minute workouts, $15 a person, 4 people maximum per session. And within 12 hours, I had 25 sessions booked in.
Oh, wow.
For this.
Sessions, not people, sessions.
Yeah. Booked in for this sort of training. Yeah. And so then very quickly I was like, oh, like this is what people want.
This is a thing.
Like people are wanting this group fitness experience that's higher than what they're getting in a group fitness space, but they don't want to pay a PT rate. So it's this in between. So that very quickly became my PT business, right? Where I was this radical little girl, like I was like 23 at the time, right? So I'm like running around, like teaching these group fitness classes from 5 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And very quickly I became like a little bit of a disruptor where other PTs in the gym were like, you're loud, you're taking up space. Can you go somewhere else? They're like, we're really happy with you doing this, but can you go into the group fitness room and run these classes when it's empty?
Yeah.
So I approached management and I just said, hey, look, I'm kind of causing issues. Are you okay if I run my little 4 people workouts in the group fitness studio space when it's empty?
Yeah.
And management was like, no, you can't, because legally your PT contract binds you to the floor, like the gym floor.
Right.
However, if you pay for the room per hour, you actually fall under group fitness guidelines, which means you can like run it, you can hire it as a group fitness space. And I was like, okay, great. No, that's fine. What are the details around that? And so the details around that meant, one, I didn't have to wear my PT uniform anymore because it didn't fall under my PT contract, which meant I could actually do the workout with people and lead them like an instructor. Yeah. And I could train up to 60 people at a time as opposed to 4 at a time, right? So I then took my 25 sessions a week and I turned it into 1.
Yeah.
So I booked the room for 1 hour. I paid $75 an hour for this room back in 2013. Yeah. And I trained 60 people at a time in 1 hour and made the same amount of money that I was making across 25 sessions in the week. Right.
So what were the people's thoughts that thought they were just going to be one of their group of 4 when they went into a bigger, 65 people?
Change management is a big thing, right? Yeah. And people hate change. So I had to really create it as this exciting thing, right? Where I was very transparent, very naive is what I'll say in the early days, where I just wore my heart on my sleeve. Yeah. And I would be like to these people, we're growing. They want us to get off the gym floor because we're causing a ruckus. So we're all going to go in the group fitness studio together. Yeah. And I had a little like Facebook group that I'd created. Yeah. And everyone was in that group and I'd be like tagging everyone and like the beginning days of community, building community. And so I would hire the room from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. every Thursday. Yep. And I started running these workouts. But that also gave me access to things that I didn't have access to on the gym floor, which was that added level of experience that drew people in. And part of that was the sound system, right? Which meant I could then start playing my own music. And that's when I guess the cogs started turning in my brain. And I noticed in the room what happened when I'd have like a Kesha song on or something and people would be like,
energy came up.
Like they know the music, right? And they'd be like, you spin, like whatever it is. And so then I was like, oh. So then I would go away and all that time that I used to spend doing group fit, like before, I would just be developing the product. Yeah. So I'd be doing all this research around like what's happening in the industry, like what's this functional training thing that people are talking about. Like now it's like a buzzword, like everyone uses it. But back then everyone was like, no, it's like pin loaded or nothing, right? Or body weight. And so I was like, what's this functional training thing? I used to like all day I'd be listening to podcasts by like the top athletic performance centers in the US. And I did all these extra courses online to understand like scientifically what happens to the body when you move this way and that way. And so I started developing out these programs of like to the beat. So it was fun and it was energetic and all this stuff. But it was all like super scientifically backed. And then it got to the point that people were like, hey, I'd like to do this twice a week. And so then I rented the room on another day, and then another day, and then another day. And it got to the point that I was renting it like 14 times.
Yeah, wow.
Right? And so then I set up a membership base.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, cool. If we're going to do this, everyone can just pay $50 for the week.
Yep.
And you can come to as many as you want.
Yep.
And that's when I started creating like, I've got like recurring revenue, right? Where even if people don't come and, you can build it, it's value for them and it's value for me. And I actually have a predicted cash flow and all those sorts of things. And so that's kind of where it really started to build, right? Like it was so like grassroots.
Yeah.
Like it was community. I built this like, I would say for lack of a better word, like a sisterhood where people were like supporting each other. And this was a time in the fitness industry, and this is still the fitness industry today, but it's not as much, where it was so cutthroat. It was so toxic. It really was, you're either a gym bunny or you can't be here.
Yeah.
Right? And so there were a lot of people that would pay for their membership and go once in the 12 months.
Be overwhelmed, feel out of place, have people looking at them and be like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. The group class of 60 people, I can hide in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Yes.
I used to be the hide in the back person.
You slide in, you do your thing, you go.
And I leave. Yep.
Right? And so I really set out to change that in the industry. And I had experienced from my own personal experience of being in the gym, but then also working under corporate and just understanding the toxicity that is throughout the fitness industry. And so I really set out to change that.
So at what point did you get it out of the gym? Did you set up your own studio?
Yeah. So from there, I developed multiple programs. So it started just as a cardio program, and then I developed a strength. I developed a core. I have now developed a Pilates. And so we now have 7 programs that are all to the beat, pre-choreographed functional training. And so from that, it then was, okay, I'm going to create a format and I'm going to create an education platform to then train other trainers how to teach my program, which all happened when we were still just renting a space. So I then started bringing on other instructors, training other instructors, building the membership base to the point that I had enough cash flow to be like, I think we need our own space.
Yeah.
Like it was getting to that point.
Yeah.
So the next step from there was I actually subleased a premises. So I found a premises just down the road, a couple of kilometers away. It was actually a mentor of mine in the fitness industry.
How did the gym feel about you leaving?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, was it toxic? Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine it was favorably.
Yeah.
So they served me with a restraint of trade and sued me.
Oh, and just because of venue hire. So it was supposed to be venue hire.
Yeah, so they essentially said that I set up to take their members.
Oh, okay.
Right? So that, and look, now as a 32-year-old female, I look back on it and I'm like, I kind of get it. Like,
yeah, I get that wasn't the intention, but you can see how they've thought that.
Yeah. But back then when I was 23 and like just thought the best in people, you know, how you're so naive and you go out with these big dreams and you're like,
that's the thing. You want to build something for yourself. And,
And then all of a sudden they're like, shut down, do not operate. They held me to my PT contract because I'd given in my notice to leave as a PT. Yeah. They were like, no, you're not leaving. We didn't receive that. Rip it up. Like, so they were like, you're going to stay. They fired me as a group fitness instructor. So I was still teaching classes for them. They fired me. They put my rent up $200 a week just to spite me. It was hell, like absolute hell. At this given point in time, I was probably turning over $80,000. Yeah. Right? Like my legal fees were $80,000. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so it was so tough. And I can remember that 12-month block where we obviously went into a legal battle. For the first time in my life, I experienced what it's like to have a lawyer. Yeah. But then even like them as a business, the corporate gym, like there was a person who worked for the gym that befriended me. And I then realized all of that was to get information to like, you know how you...
they planted a mole.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And like they would use fake email addresses to sign up for my mailing lists. They would there was so much stuff that went down in that time that as like I was getting my food from the food bank. It was so tough. And I can remember one day, someone rocked up and they'd bought me a jumper from Kmart because I didn't have a jumper. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And, but from that, I can remember every day being okay, even if all of this doesn't go ahead, how will I rebuild?
Yeah.
And so I'd figured out all of these plans of okay, I'm going to PT from my garage for 2 years and I'll go get a job, which will make this amount of money, which will pay off my lease that I've signed.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, of course, because you've already got the lease now, so you're locked into that as well.
You're locked into all of that. So I was planning all of these ways.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy in that time because I look back on it and I'm I can't believe I didn't just stop.
Yeah.
You know, I'm oh my God, I literally, it was not an option to stop. I just constantly was how do I figure out a way to make this work? And we ended up, long story short, we ended up signing this deed of release or whatever it is that was I wasn't allowed to market for 8 months. I wasn't allowed to speak to a staff member of their gym for 8 months.
Jeez.
If any member of their gym joined my gym, and terminated their membership, I had to pay $1,400 per person loss in damages. There was all this stuff we had to sign off on, right? And so then my start in business was so unusual to most people's start in business because of the fact that I had to do underground marketing. The whole thing had to be word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we doubled. We just grew and grew and grew to the point that I signed my first official commercial lease where we took the whole building.
Yeah.
At the end of 2016, which is kind of essentially a year and a half after when I'd first started everything. And
sorry,
we've gone from there.
Tell me about underground marketing. What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
How did you do it?
Okay. So got really good at referrals.
Yep.
So really, anyone that brought a friend got 2 weeks free.
Yeah.
I was so vulnerable in my story that everyone just became, for lack of a better word, Team Bek.
Yeah.
Right? So I was really connected in local communities in the area.
I was going to ask this. The secrets to developing within that sense of community. I'm guessing you've kind of answered it already, just the vulnerability of what you've gone through, because that resonates with us, especially with Australians. We love an underdog.
Oh, we love a story, don't we?
Right? Yeah. And we're no, let's prop this person up. So I guess in that sense, that is your vulnerability was your secret weapon.
Yeah. It's really interesting too on that is that was the thing that grew us, right? Was that everyone was this poor girl.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone was look at her. I lost 15 kilos. I was skin and bones.
Yeah.
My face was this big and the rest of my body because I was so inflamed. Hair was falling out.
They call it that lollipop look.
So it was literally, right? And so everyone would look at me and be oh my God, we've got to help this girl.
Yeah.
Right? And so that was absolutely, like you say, Aussies love an underdog. Mm-hmm. But I will say that has absolutely come back to bite me.
Really?
Because Aussies love you when you're not doing well.
Yeah. And then hate you when you are.
Or when they see you all of a sudden not struggling.
Yeah.
All those people that were there for you that were I'll support you to the death.
Yeah.
They all of a sudden leave.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes in two ways, right? And I think it was so brilliant for that point in my life because I was so limited. I couldn't do general marketing.
Yeah.
I had to go from the ground up. I had to get really strategic at being at community events and speaking to people and getting stuff out and that sort of stuff. But then when I was able to actually operate like a regular business and people saw me get a nicer car, get nicer clothes, all of those, I was so afraid to share that part of my life.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I'd gotten to where I'd gotten because people were supporting a charity, if that makes sense.
It's a bit of a mental dilemma in itself that you're doing this, one, because you genuinely love it. And I can see, I'm sure you can too now, Dan. Definitely. We can see that the love and the passion that you have just in the way you're delivering this. But two, when people cut you down, you've got to be thinking, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Not once, but twice now. So the people that have built you up, as you said, are now, they're not happy that you've actually succeeded. Is it because they want to continue nursing you through your hardest times, to be part of that story, and now you've elevated maybe above what they've achieved in their careers or whatever, that they're like, oh, who does she think she is? Because, like, especially the women, and I hate that we're like that.
Yeah.
But we are.
Yeah.
We are like that. And that's got to be such a mental challenge within itself, that you've gone through what the corporate gym did to you. But then your community that rallied around you has then gone, no. So how do you pick up and then build from that point again?
It's really interesting because you're correct. So I attracted a specific type of person that it answered a need in them, where their need was, I need to help someone.
Yep.
Like, I need to feel as though I'm supporting an underdog, right? And here she is, working 7 days a week. And to build this thing for us, I'm happy to give her $40 a week, and be part of this community.
And let's not forget, it's not like they were giving you $40 a week.
They are receiving something in return.
They are receiving something in return.
Correct.
Like, they are becoming healthier and a better,
Correct.
one would think, a better version of themselves through doing that because of you.
Yes. And I would also challenge receiving a service far and above and beyond what you would ever get anywhere else, which is what the boutique studio does so well, right, is we create families. It has been so tough, and I will say even to this day, like, I was actually having a conversation with my fiance about this, I think last week, where there is still so much residue from that time, and I would call it, for lack of a better word, trauma around.
I don't think that's lack of a better word. I think it just is trauma.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, especially there's the trauma of the lawsuit, right? So that is still, like, now I can look back on that time and be okay.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I haven't opened a second location.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And every single person is like, you're so stupid. Why have you not gone to 2, to 3, right? And I'm like, because you have no idea what those first couple of years were like for me. And so now, as I'm kind of moving into this next season in my life, and we've launched the licensing company, and we're moving into licensing the program to other gyms and other studios and instructors, I'm really needing to step away from the day-to-day operations of the studio, right? And so I've put a team in place to do that. But the growing pains of, what do you mean the text messages I get now aren't from Bek? Like, what do you mean she's not the one that responds to my emails? What do you mean it takes 24 hours now to get a response? Like, all these things that are standard procedures because it's a staff member doing it as opposed to an owner. And with that, there has been a, for lack of a better word, like, cutting off of the fat around these people that were only actually there to leech off me, right? And it's been to protect my peace, and it's been to protect my boundaries and actually give myself a life and a family, which I sacrificed in my 20s for my business. And so, like, I don't have a total answer for you on that, but I will say it is this process now that as we move towards being an actual business, per se, that I am the founder of and for the CEO, but I'm not the face person every day that you get.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's a business that's sellable.
Yeah.
Right? That's a business that is much more valuable to anyone than it being me.
Yeah.
But with that is all of these people. It's like when you have a kid and you like, oh no, honey, oh no, honey, oh no, and then you show them like boundaries.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, what do you mean I don't get the lolly this time?
Yeah.
So that's a really tough thing, I think, for anyone as an entrepreneur that starts a business that's founded on them, and you build a business founded on them. And you also,
your marketing's on them. It's
It's all this person who is this
Yeah.
person that you get and you see. And I think that's a really tough thing. And I will say that is probably what's happened with the Sweat app, right? If we look at Sweat, where it was Kayla,
Yep.
and it was like, Kayla, oh, she owns it. This is Kayla's thing. And then Kayla's still the head trainer, but she no longer owns it, which means she's no over. People kind of like, oh,
A little bit of the separation. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that is a really, really tough thing for most founders.
So how do you, I mean, even this outside of fitness, what would you suggest to other maybe entrepreneurs or startups that are going through this but are looking down okay, so we're going to be the face of this, but then as we scale, which is something I want to go into with you as well, how you've scaled, but as we scale, maybe our face isn't going to be there. What is something that could help them with that almost like separation anxiety their clients might get from not seeing or listening firsthand to who they're used to?
Am I allowed to suggest a book?
Absolutely.
Great. You guys have probably already read it. Anyone that owns a business needs to read this book, but it's Built to Sell, right? Where even if you never plan on selling your business, which was me, right? I was like, I'm doing this till the day I die.
Yeah.
That was to my detriment because I just created a really expensive job for myself, right? And so I was the most underpaid employee.
Yeah.
And
which most are.
We all are. And the hardest working.
Yep.
And everything was to my own detriment.
Yeah.
But when you actually change your perspective and you think about how could this thing be viewed from a bird's eye view if I wanted to scale and I wanted to go to, in my perspective, multiple locations or license it or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, how do you do that in a way that you actually step back and you let the people that can help make that happen do that for you?
Yeah.
The biggest mistake I made was thinking I was the only person that could do that.
Could do all that. Yeah.
And my team, sure, doesn't do it to the level that I do it at, but that's because I was available 24/7. If they have boundaries and set boundaries, there is going to be that dip, right? So there's always going to be the dip where the people who are there purely to leech off you feel that like, oh, it's not as personal anymore, or it's not. But that's when you put systems in place to ensure that that personal touch is still there, but they're getting it from other people. No business should ever be reliant on one person.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head there. What you've done is built a business based on a system, and you're rolling out a system to people who want to start their own businesses. Am I right? Is that right?
You're spot on.
So I'm thinking of like Uber.
Yes.
Uber is not a car company. It's not a taxi company. It's a tech company. They'll allow every driver to have their own business.
Yep.
The same type of rollout.
Yeah.
And that's the way you scale.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spot on, which is what we're now doing.
So take it back.
Yeah.
After the lawsuit, you then open up the studio, continue to grow. How did you start seeing new avenues, new businesses, new channels? How did you grow from there?
So I opened the studio in December 2016, thinking I could do it all. I was the manager, I was the cleaner, I was the trainer.
Yep.
I was sales, I was marketing, I was admin.
And all of a sudden you no longer have time to almost breathe.
And you know what's crazy about it? And I mean, the biggest advice I can give to anyone, start a business when you're 20.
Yeah.
You know, you got no responsibilities. I did not have a mortgage.
And the energy.
Yes.
You've got the energy. You can live, when you're 20, you can do 3-4 hours night of sleep.
And you think you know everything as well.
You do think you know everything.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know what? And you're so naive that you're like, this is going to work. And my dad used to always say to me, like, oh, Beck, like, if you fail, who cares? You're 22.
Yeah.
You know, like, whereas I
all
think
your life's ahead of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was actually like the greatest thing. Like, I'm so grateful that I had like a father who, rather than being like, no, you need to like go and get a white collar job and go work in the office and blah, 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 blah. He was like, no, like,
do it.
Whatever. Like,
spread your wings.
Yeah. Like, if it fails, like, and I will say he was on speed dial every day when I was like, Dad, it's doing that.
And Dad's probably thinking, oh, maybe I should have told her to go get a white collar job.
You know what is so crazy? So my dad is a really successful businessman in his own right. And so the reason why I got into business was I saw him and what he did, very different industry.
Yeah.
But I saw like our life from when I was a little girl, where he had an office underneath the house, to then like buying a building and opening his own offices, to then like really scaling and seeing that, but then also like feeling the change in like our lifestyle because of that.
Yeah.
And so like that really instilled in me this entrepreneurial like need. And so, so one advice is like start young if you can. I mean, start at any time, but when you've got like, I couldn't imagine doing what I did with children. You know?
Children, a mortgage, 2 cars, 3 cars, whatever it may be, and the boat. And all of a sudden you're getting rid of the boat, getting rid of one of the cars. You go from owning the house to renting again because someone sued you because they worried you took their clients.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, business game players, are you ready to level up your business? We are thrilled to announce our partnership with HubSpot, the ultimate all-in-one CRM platform. HubSpot helps you streamline marketing, sales, and customer service with powerful tools to grow your business faster. From lead generation to automation, it's got you covered. Visit HubSpot through our link below in the captions, or visit our website, thebusinessgamepodcast.com, to start for free and supercharge your success. Now, back to the game.
So we opened the studio in December 2016, and that's when I quickly went through this like baptism of fire around like, oh my Lord, I can't do this all on my own. So that's when I learned what a manager was and what outsourcing meant. And you know what's crazy is I have a business degree, right?
Yeah.
I went and studied this thing for 3 years, sat in lecture rooms, learned nothing.
Yeah. Isn't that, do you know, so many people say that. It's like, oh, I went and did all the, we had, I had 2 guests that were financial planners, and they're like, we did, bachelor of this and that. And she's like, and now all the regulations changed for us, and none of that is now relevant, what we learned in uni. We've got to continue doing, certificates, and it means nothing.
I have one of the girls I went to uni with. We did exactly the same degree. She specialized in marketing. I specialized in management. Straight out of uni, she had her first child, right? So it didn't work. Has now had 4.
Oh, wow.
She's just had her 4th.
Yeah.
And now she's ready to return to the workforce at 33. Her degree is irrelevant. Because everything she learnt in marketing in 2012.
We wouldn't even touch nowadays.
No. I don't even know if, like, TikTok was definitely not a thing back then.
Like SEO wouldn't have been a thing. Like, none of that.
No.
Like, the way we use Google now, like AI now, like it's not even going to be SEO anymore. It's going to be GEO and AEO. And
we are standing on this whole new industrial revolution. And I think the whole world is about to change in the next sort of 2 years. I'm assuming, not that don't quote me on that, but
Oh, no, I agree.
Right. AI,
it is.
Look what's happening.
It's all going to change. And so going back to your initial question around like how I saw different avenues and different things, the first probably 3 years, definitely 2 years of owning that studio was just sorting my shit out. Like it was like, okay, how do I systemize any of this? Right. And everyone kept being like, you need to systemize. It's all about your systems. And I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, how do I systemize this thing? What do you mean? And I think what was also really tricky, my job was so physically demanding. Right. Very early starts and late finishes.
So you're not mentally taxed. You're also physically taxed as well.
Everything. And so it was this like marathon of developing the product, finding people I could train to also teach. So I'm not teaching all day, every day, learning how to sell, learning campaign, Facebook marketing. I'm like, what the hell is Meta? Learning all of those things, understanding social media, understanding how to train. Like I remember being like, if I was to hire an admin assistant, what would they do?
Yeah.
Like I used to be like, oh crap, I've paid this person to be with me for 5 hours today. What am I going to get them to do? So it was learning like, how do I create roles? Like how do I, and so that was the first couple of years of this business, right? It was just that. And we were just like, we were growing 30% year on year.
Wow.
Like we were just like doing so amazing. I actually can't, like looking back at it now, I'm like, you need to give yourself a pat on the back for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was crazy. And then it probably hit about 2019. And at that point, we'd been open for sort of like 2 and a bit years. And that's when I was at the point that I was like, all right, I'm going to now need to go to the next level in my business. So I actually signed up for a course. The guys actually are now based on the Sunshine Coast, but it's all online. And it was a marketing course that was fitness industry specific, but they also taught like systemization of your business, like true systemization.
Yeah.
That's when I understood, firstly, experience like project management software. And so that's when I, for the first time, like took my business to that next level.
How did you find them? It's such a niche industry, like a niche business. How
Look,
did you find it?
I was so obsessed with learning that my spare weekends I would spend at conferences, at webinars, like whatever I could do to learn. I was so obsessed with business and learning how to run business. And the guy who owns this company was a speaker at a conference I went to, and we did these like little breakout things, and he was like running my breakout, and he like asked this question, and I like answered the question, and he like came and spoke to me afterwards, and he was like, "You're like a superstar." Like he was like, "Here's my card," sort of deal. And so then obviously I was flattered, and so then I was like, "Cool." So then I called him, and he was like, "This course is like $6,000."
Yeah.
Right. And I was like,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Right. But he just like put it flat to me, and he was like, "This is what I can help you do in the next 6 months in your business," or however long it was.
Did he deliver?
We grew by $10,000 a month.
Whoa.
During
delivered.
the time
Yeah.
I was with him. And to this day, they're still very good friends of mine. And I now pay for my staff to do that course.
Okay.
So it's worth an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing. And so that then really systemized my business, where that's when I started looking at, I'm going to get my trainer training program accredited. I'm going to look at another location. Like that was every year. Second location. And something every year always stops me on the second location. Obviously, there's all that background trauma that happened.
Yep.
But COVID hit. Yeah. So
February,
March.
Fun.
March 2020.
Yep.
Remember that?
So obviously there was issues there, but that also created new opportunities.
Yeah. So that was our first time we went online.
Right. And so, and is this tying back into, so the guys that are now on the sunny coast that helped you with that. So who are they? Let's give them a shout out.
Massive shout out. So Richard and Joey, Com Marketing. COM marketing. They are fitness industry specific.
All right, on the sunny coast.
Yeah, but it's online now thanks to COVID.
It's everywhere.
But at that point, they were in Sydney, and I used to fly to Sydney once a month to do a 1-day training with them.
So all right. So and then going into COVID.
Yep.
Obviously,
just imagine if you had 10 locations and you went to COVID, be a financial ruin. Nearly. I mean, so many different gyms did actually get financially ruined by.
We were living in Melbourne at the time of COVID, so that was fun.
Yeah. How was that 5K walk for you?
We were super lucky that I know that
daily 5K.
I know that the end of my street was the ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
And it was it was only 1.5 kilometers, so it was fine. But they had drones going up and down the beach.
It's ridiculous,
to tell you
right?
to move on. It was out of control. But my point being is my daughter at the time, she was very heavily dance training. Yeah. And that, of course, got shut down. And she went to online dance training. Yeah. In COVID, she lost all motivation. Yeah. Now, this was her passion. She was doing this. She was going to travel the world with dance. And not just her, like a lot of within that industry, which is, they're in a class with their peers and, they're vibing off each other and stuff like that. And I just watched all their motivations go down because all of a sudden they're in their garage or their bedroom trying to do routines. And how did that affect where you were going to go?
Yeah. So I knew it was coming because so my current actual
Wait, you knew COVID was coming?
no, as in
Have you got a crystal ball? Is there something else we should know about right now?
So something I haven't
Bats
told
and
you
stuff there.
guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, guess what?
I know. No. So okay, context there. I had been in the US.
Yep.
So I was in the US in February 2020. I'd signed a contract with a company over there called Alo Yoga, where they owned a flagship store that was in the Grove in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this group fitness studio connected, and they were trying to expand their offerings beyond just the yoga girls.
Mm-hmm.
So once a month, they had a feature trainer teach their signature workouts, and I was their February girl, which was really cool. So I was over in LA teaching group fitness classes in there, like literally like 2 days after I got home. The US shut down. Right? And because I'd just been there and I could see what was happening in the studios, I was like, well, I'm going to put 2 and 2 together here and think that's going to happen to us very soon. Right? So I started setting up for online probably a month before, like many of the other gyms did in Australia.
Yeah. Okay.
Knowing that I don't know if this is going to happen, but it's looking like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
This is my plan B.
This is my plan B. And so we just started really simple where it was like we Facebook live streamed.
Yeah.
Like we were in our private group, we were just doing Facebook lives, and we just started purchasing the tech and hooking up the sounds and the microphones and just all that sort of stuff. So that way, like really beautifully, when COVID hit and we were locked down, we were just ready to go.
Yeah.
Most gyms, and I spent probably a week on the phone with other gym owners.
Yeah.
Being like, this is how to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, this is the tech you need to buy. This is like blah, blah. So we just put everyone completely online straight away. We put everyone on an online membership pricing, which was like $25 a week, which meant our revenue dropped by like 60% overnight. But the really cool thing was that I ran such a lean machine that I just straight up was like, that's cut. Yep, cool. We can do this.
Yeah.
And then JobKeeper kicked in, which was like a couple of weeks later, which saved us, right? Because we could pay people still. Yeah. And we just built this community. And I think the thing that worked really well, yes, a lot of people lost motivation. So just, I guess, echoing what your daughter experienced, there's nothing like an in-person experience at a venue.
Yeah.
But the thing that worked was that everyone was doing it, right? It wasn't that, oh, I can't go to the gym.
It's either or. Yeah. It's like, this is
what I
only
have
thing.
to do. And it got to the point that you could do like 2 or 3 people together.
Yeah.
And so people created little buddy groups.
Yeah.
Where they would go and work out at each other's houses, and we live streamed it all together. And then throughout the process of COVID, we upgraded our tech, so it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
And part of that was we were getting grants, like the government was doing tech grants to businesses to help us with that sort of stuff. And we just built this awesome community. And then I switched all my marketing off online, turned it all into online marketing, had all these people sign up from all over the world for our online platform.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so it was like a completely flipped our business. And even though COVID sucked, it then meant when we reopened on the other side, we had 2 membership bases.
Yep.
And yes, admittedly, a lot of those went back to their gyms.
Yeah.
Right? Which is great. But we've kept members from that time. We've got more members that have come on board from that time. And so we then opened up on the other side of COVID with 2 revenue models instead of 1.
Instead of the 1.
And in the same process, in the same time, you've gone international.
Yes. Crazily enough, which was nuts. So, yeah, and we would live stream on Facebook every Saturday. So we would do it on our page. So like anyone, they were getting like 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Onto like viewing it. So I don't know whether they're actually doing the workouts. But we were getting such good numbers because everyone was at home.
Was the core demographic mostly female?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. What do you think are some of the marketing secrets that resonate to get to those women? What did you do to reach those women?
For online?
Yeah.
Look,
or both, actually.
Well, women are looking for community.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Men don't really care that much. Dudes like they like having their like 3 friends.
Yeah.
And like catching
they got their
up.
bros and off they go.
They got their bros and they can talk to their bros 2 times a year and still be like, yeah, he's my best mate.
Yeah, and the conversations are generally 3 words piece.
Literally.
Yeah.
And whereas
it's like, right, that's everything off my chest now.
Yes. Whereas girls, I'm like, I haven't spoken to her for 2 weeks. Does she still like me?
Yeah. God, do they hate me now?
Yeah, like I replied to her story and she only liked it. So
yeah, I know. What does that mean?
She doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah.
So I think for women, they were and are looking for community. So what RBB really prides itself on is community. And I have a staff member now employed purely for community development. And so her entire job is building the community.
So what does she do?
She works on events.
Yep.
So any event that we run, anything that has to do with, like we do member of the week, we do shout outs, we do early risers, which is like coffee mornings where RBB shouts everyone coffees. So she oversees all of that.
Yep.
She gets any member content. So she does testimonials. She gets like all of that.
So she's sort of like an EA / marketer /
Yeah, and in a little way, it's a little bit like HR as well because she also looks after my team.
Yep. Okay.
So it's just anything, we call her job the colour job, where she looks after like anything colourful. Which is like emotions.
Yeah.
And
So you still have a separate position for sales and marketing?
no, that's me.
You.
So it is a separate position.
That's
That's
still
you.
me. No, so I have 2 studio managers. The role has been split into 2. So one is people relations. Yeah. So she falls under like colour. And then I have someone that handles all of the black and white, which is admin, documentation, compliance, termination of memberships, signing up for memberships. She assists me with sales.
Right.
And then the colour assists me with marketing.
Yep.
Because like creating the content and that's how
So next question.
Yes.
How did you find these people?
How did I find these people?
And how do you know they're the right person for the role?
You know what? I have hired terribly in the past.
I think all of us have at some point.
Especially when you're a small business. And I think the really tricky reality of most small businesses, and I will say just from my industry, boutique studios, the entire boutique studio model is designed to be owner operated. So you look at your F45s, you look at all of those. You're someone who has spare cash, you want to get out of corporate, you love the fitness industry, you buy a gym and you run a gym.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get myself out of the day-to-day. I need to put people in place to do that, which means it slices a significant amount of your cash, right? Because it's going to roles. But if you've got a long-term vision, that's where you're wanting to go.
Yeah.
But in the process of that, I've had to hire people that I could afford, which means you hire young and you hire unexperienced.
Yep.
Right?
And then you can train them the way you want them to work.
And so a lot of my time has been training people to be able to do. But this team I've got now, oh man, I'm so blessed. Like so both of them are a little bit older. One is older than me, which is awesome. But because they're both part-time roles, they are doing things elsewhere, which means I can get away with being very strict on these are your tasks and this is what you need to do in the 15 hours you're here this week, right? Or whatever it is. Whereas when I had just one full-time, it got pretty like wishy-washy. That was like, is this being done? Is this being done? Oh no, we're going to do this thing. And because of the way that the roles work, I identified that's 2 different types of people.
Yeah. So strengths in one might be hopefully the weakness in the other now.
Yeah.
Colour and black and white.
Yeah. And just because I did everything doesn't mean I should expect everyone else to do everything.
Yeah.
Right? And just because I understand marketing and sales, because I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I would say probably neurodivergent, where it's like, you know,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't mean I'm expecting everyone else to be like that, right? So I kind of spent a lot of my time expecting to make mini-me's.
Yeah.
And you just don't make mini-me's when it's not their baby, it's my baby. And I think that was a really tough learning curve for me, where I got quite strategic just in these last 12 months around, no, I need to hire people to their strengths. And if that means that I need it to be 2 people or 3 people, 4 people, as opposed to 1, I need to do that. And I need to structure their package in a way that frees them if it needs to be a part-time role because of the size of the company, they can go do things elsewhere and give 100% here.
Yep.
But most of those people come through my community.
So would you say that's probably your biggest personal evaluation, that you have learned that not everyone is a you? Not everyone should be expected to be a you? Because I think a lot of not even just CEOs or founders, a lot of managers just expect, I think, that of their staff. Well, I can do it, why can't you?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've probably learned through my career as well, Dan. I'm probably sure you have as well. And I think you get to a certain age where you can evaluate that and go, okay, that's not necessarily how life is. Yeah. But there are still a lot of people out there that don't get that. And I think, you mentioned that you were blessed with the staff you've got. And I think a lot of that has to do with once you as a leader realizes that that is actually what life is. Yes. What you're good at doesn't mean that someone else is good at that. Maybe they can multitask 6 things. This one can only multitask 4 things. You can multitask 10, whatever. But if the work's still getting done, and if these employees can see that you understand that their leader understands that, I find a lot of staff then go above and beyond to make their superior happy or whatever it may be. But the ones that don't understand that are just like, well, I can do it, why can't you?
Yes.
They're never going to have staff that respect them, let alone go above and beyond to help that. So being so young still in your, and you've built this incredible business, what sort of advice would you give to male or female, doesn't matter, whether it's in fitness or not, doesn't matter, but other entrepreneurs that are like, I'm inspired, because it is an inspiring story?
It's really interesting, right? So I think there's probably a couple of facets to this. Facet number 1 is probably everyone will say it, is you have to really love what you do, 100%. Because business is so tough.
Yep.
Right? And
it's not for the weak-hearted or minded.
No. And it's really interesting. Like, so my fiance has his own company, but when we first started dating, he was going from being a solo into building a company.
Yep. Okay.
Right? And so over the last sort of 2.5 years, I've watched his journey. And it was so reminiscent around my first couple of years. And he would constantly say to me, like, Beck, I don't know how you did this on your own, right? Because I would be like, okay, so let's look at this. No, like, we're going to, and he had that person there, and not like big noting myself, but essentially saying, you've got that person that can go, no, I've been there and done this. Stay the course. This is going to get easier, right? And so on that, you have to love it with everything you've got, but you have to get so clear on the certain people or the people that you allow in your inner circle. Because if people have never done what you're doing right now, they will never understand.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming anyone listening to this that is an entrepreneur or a business owner has always felt different. I've always felt different ever since I was a little girl. I didn't enjoy the things that all other girls enjoyed. Didn't enjoy conversation that all my friends at uni were having, because all I wanted to do was build an empire, right, and build something. And you have such a different way of thinking to be that
and
sort
probably
of person.
A very different view on the world and life in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you need to really make sure you have people in your corner that will carry you through that. And not poo-poo at every step of the way.
It's like your father, a good mentor.
Exactly. So having someone, and one of the best things that I did right in the early stages was I got myself a business coach. It is an investment, right? Business coaches are not cheap, but if you get the right business coach to be there with you, even if it's once a month, you get on a call with this person or whatever it is that you can afford at the time, it is the greatest investment that you will ever make, because they have been there and done that, and they can look at who it is that you are and what you're wanting to become and actually help you with that. Another big lesson that I learned was I had to understand, like, has everyone here read Mel Robbins? Mel Robbins' Let Them, the
No,
whole Let Them theory?
I haven't.
So the crux of her theory is people are shit. People will do terrible things to you. People will let you down. People will screw you over. Let them.
Yeah.
It actually has nothing to do with you. And I was actually speaking with my business coach, speaking of business coaches, very recently around this, where probably about 18 months ago, I experienced like quite a lot of online bullying and trolling for lack of a better term, the first time in my life where it was quite severe, and to the point that I nearly shut all my socials down, that I was like, I can't ever show my face ever again. And I really took a step back, stopped posting. I stopped posting on my stories, on everything, because I couldn't do it. It was too painful. And so we're obviously working through this, and she's like, okay, so what are we going to do here? People are going to say terrible things to you. She's like, look at any person who has any level of like whatever online, there's always bad comments.
The hate is always going to be there because it comes from a genuine core of just bitter, jealous.
Yes. And understand it's not about you, even though it feels like such a personal attack when they're calling you out, telling you that, you know, they don't really want you to even be alive anymore.
Yep.
It's like, let them. Let them. And so if you in business, especially if you're new in business, can understand that there is vanilla. Everyone likes vanilla. Yeah. But then there's chocolate and sugar-coated, multicolored, unicorn, rainbow.
Yep.
And if you want to be the sugar-coated, multicolored rainbow, people aren't going to like that.
Yeah.
Everyone likes vanilla, and you can be vanilla, and that's cool, but you'll never achieve extreme success.
That's a really good analogy.
Right? But with extreme success becomes, you also get extreme hate.
Absolutely.
Right? And so if you can be okay with that, then you'll be successful. And also learning, and I think this is challenging for women. It's not as hard for men. You have to not care what people say.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's a big thing. And then always look at how you can better what you're doing. So even when you get to a point that you're like, yep, cool, this is looking good, this is looking good, this is looking good, the whole world's going to change and AI is going to come in. And is your business AI safe? Is it, you know, all these things. So you need to constantly be evolving. You need to constantly be pivoting. You need to constantly be looking at, how do we need to change? What are the trends? How do we adapt? Like, still stay true to your culture and your core.
Yeah.
And the final thing I would say is the culture is everything when you have a team.
Yeah.
So
I could not agree more. I could not agree more.
If you have a team, and it comes from the top, right? Toxic culture comes from the top. Good culture comes from the top. So you as a person have to be so constantly committed to leveling up as a leader, which means you have to be open to feedback, which means you have to understand your staff. You have to understand what gets people going. I have staff that are not driven by money. I have staff that are driven by money. You know, like you have to understand, is it social cred? Is it like, what is the thing that like gets them going and makes them committed to the brand? And how do you create a culture within your team that is healthy and is thriving? And then you'll have people that will stay so much longer than they would have ever stayed, because people don't leave jobs because they're not getting paid enough. People leave jobs because they don't like where they work.
That's right.
Right?
Whether it's culture or passion or money, it's about finding the right person.
Exactly.
Now we're running out of time.
We are.
So real quick, next steps. What's the future hold for you?
Well, I kind of alluded it to before, but we're doing the whole licensing thing, which is very exciting. So as I mentioned, every year I've been like, do I do the second location? Do I go to another location? Blah, blah, blah. Every year something has stopped us. And it was probably this time last year that I was like, look, why did I get into this industry? I got into this industry because I was obsessed with group fitness. And I wanted to create exceptional workout experiences. And I was like, how do I do that on a bigger level? Like, what does that look like without just going down the model of locations or franchising, right? And I was like, licensing.
Yep.
I take my program and I teach it to other people. They purchase a license and then they teach it in their gyms.
Yep.
And so that's when I started the whole building out the second company, getting everything accredited, getting everything registered to fall under compliance with AusActive, which is our governing body, around having it as a certified program that you can then either sell to a gym or you can package it to an instructor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 2 different models. So going into gyms is like Les Mills, right? So if you go to Good Life or you go to, any like World Gym just around the corner, like whatever it is, you're in a group fitness, the gym owns the license.
Right.
Yeah. Which means the gym pays for the license. Les Mills or the licensing company provides them with the training. We train instructors. We provide them with the content, which is choreography, video content, marketing content, launch guides, everything. Yeah. So that's one model. The next model is like Zumba, where Zumba is the license is actually owned by an instructor. And that instructor can take that program and teach it anywhere.
Right.
Which is where essentially like what you were saying is a mum could be like, I don't want to go back to work full time. I really love teaching group fitness. I'm going to hire the local hall and just teach a couple of classes a week.
Yeah.
And pay a monthly license fee. I get given all the choreography, everything that I need. She's trained under our program. We facilitate the instructor training and then that then is licensed. So we launched that in September last year. We've now licensed into Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. And we just launched in the US last month.
Okay, wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we've just started kind of dipping our toes into the US. And I went over to the US first week in May just to essentially be like, I just want to see like what the market's like over here. Is there an interest? And we sold licenses.
Wow.
Which was huge.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So all going to plan. I'll be going back in August to do another round over there. And we're obviously licensing throughout more clubs in Brisbane. We've got a few in Victoria that we're about to take on. And that's where we're going.
Yay. That sounds
inspirational.
It is. It really is.
Thank you.
Okay. So we always wrap up with one final question. If you could just give one piece of advice to anyone to move the needle in their business, what would that one piece of advice be?
Fall back in love with the reason why you got into it.
Love it.
I think we quite often forget why we got into it and we get so bogged down and our jobs change, right? Like quite often people, like, I don't know, take electrician. He's like, I'm a really good sparky.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And then he like goes out on his own. All of a sudden he's like an admin person.
Yeah.
Right. And you get really bogged down in that. But if you can remind yourself of why you got into it and help strategically move it back, that you're back in the role doing what you love to do, whatever that is, that's where you'll get such incredible fulfillment in what you're doing.
Thank you, Bek.
That's fantastic. For our viewers and listeners, give us one last pitch, who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
Absolutely. So my name is Bek Strachan. I am the founder of RBB Fitness Studio and RBB to the Beat, which is Australia's best group fitness workout experience. The studio is located in Mount Gravatt in Brisbane, and that's where we host all of our workouts, and we have an amazing community there. And the RBB to the Beat company is where we license to instructors and gyms across Australia and now the US.
Yay!
So it's at Bek Strachan, which is Bek with a K, Strachan, just to keep it nice and exciting for you. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I am on Facebook, but don't find me there. And I'm not on X.
Not on X?
No.
Okay. So everywhere but X, and don't bother with Facebook.
No, I mean, you can find me on Facebook if you want, but it'll be pictures of my dog.
I'll have the hyperlinks to everything anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bek. It has been absolutely fantastic.
That was great.
My pleasure. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you. To help support our continued mission to provide free, best-in-class advice from the world's most compelling business leaders, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss an episode. See you next Thursday. Thanks for tuning into The Business Game. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn to stay connected. A big thank you to our major sponsor Codeworthy for powering today's episode, and join us again on the next episode of The Business Game, a podcast that moves the needle.